A woman is behind bars after an alleged altercation with a child in her after-school program. Sarah Brown was arrested Wednesday night and is being charged with one misdemeanor count of battery for pushing the head of a 7-year-old into a tabletop. Brown was an employee of the YMCA's primetime after-school program at Hurd Elementary. The mother of the victim reached out to News 3, needing us on her side. Meredith Lay joins us now with her story. Meredith, this has been quite an ordeal for this family.
Yeah, that's right, Russ. Now, Sarah Brown's arrest comes as good news to Jean Groover, but she says it's been a long time coming considering the incident happened all the way back in June of last year. Now, Groover tells me her son Jonathan had only been in the YMCA's primetime after school program for a few minutes before she says he was assaulted. And though her son's bruises have now disappeared, she says the emotional damage is still evident to this day.
When you take your child to school, you assume that your child is safe.
And as a mom, Jean Groover says she does everything she can to protect her son Jonathan. So when she heard he was having a hard time with his after-school teacher, she took action.
I had complained on her in December of the previous year about how mean she had been to him, and I requested that he be removed out of her class, and they did that.
7-year-old Jonathan was a student at Hurd Elementary and enrolled in the YMCA's after-school program. Thinking the problem with his teacher was resolved, Groover says she was stunned when the school called.
He was sitting there and he had written a statement for the school board.
Tell me about that day. What did happen?
A primetime teacher with the YMCA slammed his head into the desk twice.
That teacher was Sarah Brown.
She walked up to him and told him to put his head down. When he looked up at her, she slammed it to the table, and he looked at her again and she slammed it to the table a second time.
She doesn't know why it happened, but one thing Groover is sure of is that it's turned their world upside down.
It's very, very hard for him. He cries. He used to have nightmares and migraine headaches. He's on 2 medications now. His head swell up every now and then.
So what took so long for an arrest to be made? Groover says the district dropped the ball.
They told me that they weren't going to press charges and they referred me to magistrate court.
So tell me why you contacted us.
I want people to know that their children are safe in Chatham County schools, and they need to know that if something happens to their child in a Chatham County school, that they need to call the local authorities and get them involved. Had I known that, I would have done that, and the situation would totally be different.
Now, the school board deferred the case to the magistrate court, where it was then thrown out based on jurisdiction. It wasn't until Groover reached out to the GBI that the case was reopened. I contacted both the school board and Terry Ray with the primetime program, but both had no comment. The district attorney is now involved, and Brown's next court date is scheduled for May 14th. For News 3, I'm Meredith Lay.